So welcome everybody to our talk. I'm Sophie Bee and I'm a children's yoga teacher in Nottingham. I'm also a mum of two and I run my own business teaching yoga. And I'm here today with Bryony Duckitt, who is the founder of Yogabeez Children's Yoga School.
Hello, lovely to be here. Lovely to see you, Sophie.
You. So whereabouts are you at the moment, Bryony?
I am in Teddington, just watching the sun go down and just next to the water, which is very lovely. My cat is under the table, making sure that doing quality check.
We're just going to have a chat about what the benefits of yoga and mindfulness are for children, because children's yoga has become so popular recently. And Bryony, why do you think that is?
Well, it's been amazing seeing the progression of it over the last sort of 20 years when I used to approach schools and they were very much like, children's yoga, no thank you. And now schools, are contacting us all the time, looking for teachers, parents looking for classes that they can send their children to. And I just think as the world speeds up and more pressure, of course, we're now in the pandemic, and so mental well-being was already at sort of critical stage before this, but now really it's quite paramount. And I think schools, teachers, parents are really just recognizing or looking for other ways to support their children through this very fear-based, anxious time. And so the benefits of yoga and mindfulness have just become very much needed. The benefits of yoga and mindfulness for children are vast, but just to name a few, of course, it helps children deal with stress and anxiety more effectively, which ultimately gives them tools in relaxation, which can help with better sleep, also better focus and concentration in the class. Yoga can be used to increase energy or decrease anxiety, to settle, to calm. Of course, it teaches them to respect themselves, others, and the world around them, encourages body awareness, so they really feel the body strengthening, becoming more flexible, teaches them balance, not only balancing poses, but also balance in life. Works on all the systems, as we know yoga does, on the cardiovascular, respiratory, immune, digestive, nervous system. So whilst doing all the playful poses, they are getting all these incredible benefits physically. Then, of course, we know mentally, emotionally, and socially, yoga for children really benefits. It improves their moods, their sense of well-being, self-acceptance, self-worth, self-confidence. Also socially and emotionally, it encourages them to interact and really get a sense of community, and then also to practice some poses on their own, some solitude, some going within, sitting, being quiet, being mindful, giving them tools to be present and to come back into the moment, into this moment, to be here now.
So are there any practices that you could share with us right now to try?
I mean, there's so many, but what I always teach from the beginning is just really to give children an awareness of their breath. This is the greatest gift you can give a child, because when they can start to notice their breath has become short and shallow, we can give them tools and techniques to maybe deepen, slow the breath, take a deep breath, all these things which, as adults we have learned, we still forget to do those things. But just giving children these kind of simple techniques from when they're 2, 3, 4 that hopefully they can take with them through the rest of their lives. I mean, a very simple one, a very effective one is what we call the hand breath. And it's a very tangible breath. They can feel what's going on. It's quite tactile and really just encourages them to take 5 deep breaths. So we start at the base of the thumb, and as we breathe in, we trace the thumb up. And as we breathe out, we go down. You might like to try it with me. Breathing in and out. In and out. And just encouraging them to move at their own pace, breathing in and out. Breathing in and breathing out. And that may have been the 5 deepest, most nourishing breaths, you know, whoever's watching this may have had all day. Even as yoga teachers, as yoga practitioners, we can still get so caught up in the going-ons and the days and the busyness. And, you know, I know when we started this call, you know, you sort of were running through a list of everything, trying to get to this point, get the babies to bed, feed them, teach the yoga class, you know, and we're all on this constant hamster wheel, go, go, go. So just taking 5 deep breaths can absolutely change that moment. And for children who obviously feel, well, we all do feel these emotions really strongly, anxiety really strongly, anger really strongly, just to take those breaths moves them from a place of that sort of amygdala, fight, flight, freeze, react, to more prefrontal cortex, reasoning, calming, decision making. You know, how am I going to respond to this emotion, or even just to notice and recognize that emotion in that moment. So that's a really effective one. There are many breathing exercises where we encourage, you know, longer exhalation, just to slow the heartbeat down, to slow the breathing down. And again, so they can just take a moment, feel their feet on the floor, come back to this moment. In fact, I've got this mantra that's been sort of running through my head over the last couple of weeks, and it is just be here now. You know, and whenever I notice I'm in the chittivity, the chitter chatter, the mind is talking, it's just to take that moment to stop, be here now. And in this moment, notice the willow tree, the sunset, the cloud that's in a heart shape, you know, whatever it might be around you. Just the texture of your skin, a smell in the air. So bringing them back to the present moment as much as we can. And the bridge to do that is the breath. So that's a simple breathing exercise that we could offer them.
Well, just taking those 5 breaths with you has completely shifted me, because like you said, I was really busy from one thing to the next, and then just sitting here and doing those 5 breaths, I feel like, grounded now. It's so simple but so effective and powerful.
Yeah.
Is there another one you're going to show us about a volcano that's really popular?
Yes, we love the volcano pose. This one's really great to get a child to recognize strong feelings. So one that comes to mind is anger. And what I would do initially is just say, has anyone here ever felt angry? And of course, everyone's hands go up. And that's really the first part of it, for children to go like, oh, okay, my friend also feels angry. Oh, my teacher feels angry. My mum feels angry. Oh, everyone else has moments where they feel anger too. Then I might ask them, you know, where they might feel that in their bodies, which always reminds me of my training with Sophie Bee. You know, where they might feel anger in their bodies, and some will feel it in their hands, in their jaws, in their bellies, in their heads. Maybe what color the anger is. And then what are some of the responses? When you feel angry, what are some of the things you might want to do? So that might be kicking, shouting, breaking things. How do we feel after we've done those things? So it's really kind of just looking at the emotion, questioning it, almost befriending it in a way, and making it again something more tangible and concrete, but giving them this understanding that it is a strong emotion, but that they have really a choice over how they react to it, how they channel it. Now, we're not trying to tell them never be angry. We want them to befriend all emotions. We want them to feel them and recognize them, but we don't want them to be completely swamped and taken over by them. So the volcano pose, after we've explored all of that, we hope that a couple of them say, in my belly, because I mean, as we know, so many, you know, stomach issues, digestive issues, problems with the belly stem from an emotional sort of response that might be going on. So we hold on to it. We stay stuck in this area. So we imagine in the belly is some hot, burning, bubbling, angry magma. We bring our hands together in front of the belly and we imagine we're bringing this hot, angry feeling up through the body. We also get them to show us their really angry faces. Can you show me your really angry face, Sophie? It's really funny because most of them just look constipated. Well, we don't mention that. Okay, so they're really angry and we want to bring this feeling up through the body, a deep breath in. And then we let it erupt. And as we feel the lava starting to settle and cool around us, just notice how different the body feels. So we do it again. Show me your angry faces. And as soon as you do that, you can feel your whole body tensing, your shoulders, your hands, your face, everything's tense and cross. And then as we release it, we just feel everything start to soften. So again, get them to really notice the difference between when they're feeling angry and cross, even thinking about feeling angry and cross, and how they feel when they begin to soften. Because of the Montessori background, of course, we try and keep it educational. And so talking about the magma inside the volcano and the lava that comes out of the volcano, that was totally, I was totally corrected by a child. One of the first times I taught that, because I was like, there's bubbling lava in the volcano and then it erupts. And then a 4-year-old corrected me and said, actually, it's magma when it's inside. So children are our greatest teachers. And I have never made that mistake again. So yeah, that's a great one that I love to use with them. And I've heard such amazing feedback, you know, from children who have used that, you know, children who've been fostered, children who really have struggled with anger and strong emotions, anxiety, sadness, depression, that have used that. And sometimes they use just the silent version. So they're just imagining that, because maybe in the middle of their classroom, they don't want to be there erupting like a volcano, but just imagining it. And after that, we then get them to think of something that makes them feel calm or something that makes them feel peaceful, happy, and instead holding that feeling inside the pit of the volcano and allowing the feeling of that to wash over them.
It's so empowering to give the children that emotional literacy and the knowledge of where they feel it in their bodies. It always feels like children are told, you know, don't be angry, don't be sad, you should be happy all the time, and adults as well. So just to feel like all those emotions are welcome and how to kind of allow them just to pass through you is so powerful for them.
Absolutely. The adults, you know, the adults who are feeling it are adults who were children once who were told not to feel it, you know, be still, be quiet, don't make such a fuss. Oh, you're fine. It's not a problem. Stop crying, you know, all those things. And then we hold those into adulthood. So if we can really teach them when they're young, this is absolutely welcome. You know, wonderful that you've noticed it. Let me give you some tools to try and, channel it maybe in a more positive way, or even just tools to recognize it is such a big step.
Exactly. And it's like those lifelong wellbeing skills that you mentioned previously that they learn from a young age and just carry through with them and to their children as well, who they work with.
The yoga snowball effect. I love what you said there about the emotional literacy, you know, and that's so important to give them so many, you know, to give them more descriptions of how they feel. So often you'll go around a group of children and actually even adults at the end of a yoga class and ask them how they feel. And they're like, good, 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 fine, good. You know, so we want to feed them with many different, you know, words or descriptions of good or happy or sad or cross or, you know, angry or rage, whatever it might be. So yeah, as well as getting them to recognize it, also, as you say, sort of giving them the vocabulary to explain it. Slightly angry, really mad, full of rage, annoyed, you know, so many different sort of levels of it.
I had a lovely class today with a group of 5 and 6-year-olds, and at the end when we did the check-in with emotions, one of the children, she said she felt ecstatic and a boy said he felt confused, and then another boy said he felt grumpy, which was just so lovely for them to use a wider vocabulary and just to feel free to express how they really felt.
Amazing. Yeah, 5 and 6 year olds, you know, don't give them enough credit. Well, we do. But no, they, you know, and that's why when I teach, you know, I use adult voice, adult language. I teach children the same way that I teach adults. I don't baby the language down, or, you know, we want to give them this vocabulary. They're little sponges, they absorb it. And look at that, 5, 6 year olds really being able to truly express how they're feeling. So love to hear that.
So another question I have for you is, when it comes to yoga, it's such an ancient practice and very traditional in its background. So how do you make this ancient practice of yoga fun and accessible for children?
Well, firstly, really important, you know, that's really been one of my sort of ethos from the start, is to honor traditional yoga and mindfulness. And even though we make it accessible and playful for children, you know, that we do keep some of the philosophy, all aspects of yoga that we bring into the class. It's not just the yoga poses, it's very much about the breath, the relaxation, the concentration, the yamas and the niyamas, you know, the sort of foundations of yoga, the sort of universal commandments or the personal disciplines. But yeah, we do it in subtle, fun ways. So maybe just in the check-in in the beginning, when we're going around and checking in, we might talk about what is something kind that we can do today? What is something helpful that we can do for someone else today? What might we be able to give to charity this week? So just bringing in, you know, bringing in the philosophy that way, really just looking at being the best sort of versions of ourselves that we can be whilst we are, you know, in the Amazon rainforest. So we could come into storytelling, and while we're practicing the, you know, the tree pose, talking about ecology and respecting trees and the earth and what we can give back and what it gives to us and what we can respect and appreciate. So yeah, making it accessible, age appropriate, but really honoring the roots of yoga, of traditional yoga in the process.
And how do you teach the poses? So rather than saying like warrior 2, for example, how do you make that more fun for the children?
So if I think of, you know, warrior 3, perhaps. Warrior 3 could be warrior 3. I mean, I would teach them as well, warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3. But warrior 3 could also be a superhero. It could be a rocket. It could be a flamingo, a kite, an aeroplane. So you can weave it into stories. But then when we're teaching, whatever it might be, a kite, a flamingo, a rocket, we would also be thinking of the body benefits. So as we stand on one leg, pressing the hands together or arms out to the side, can you feel the leg strengthening? Can you notice how you really have to focus on a point to keep your balance? This helps us with concentration. So yeah, we can give them different names, weave them into storytelling. Really important to give them the benefit of the pose as well, so that they know, okay, I'm feeling really not focused right now. I remember in yoga, when we did the balancing poses, really focused on one point, it helped the mind to settle, the thoughts to become less, and that helped me to concentrate and focus. Maybe I'll try and do that now before I continue, you know, my puzzle or my writing or whatever it might be. So things like downward dog. I mean, a downward dog can be just, I mean, some classes I'm literally just teaching them the poses. It's not always storytelling. You know, we might be looking at our awesome anatomy, looking at our bodies, and exploring the yoga poses in their traditional sense. But other days we might be going camping and a downward dog is a tent, or we're going to Egypt and the downward dog is the pyramids. or we're going to the park and downward dog is a slide, or we're looking at shapes and downward dog is a triangle. So yeah, many different.
I love how we teach the Trikonasana as well, the triangle pose, like you said about different age. So with the little tots, and the toddlers will sing the triangle song, I'm a Little Teapot. And then as you get with the older children, to make it more intercurricular and educational, start to bring in that mathematical concept of triangles like isosceles and equilateral and things like that. So finding all the triangles in your body when you're in that pose. I really love that about the children's yoga.
Yeah, we try and really, again, because of my sort of Montessori background, I'm all about teaching, teaching while we're moving and while we're exploring the poses, but they're all sort of learning opportunities really, because children, as I said earlier, they are such little sponges, and we can just plant the seeds, through the poses and through the classes. I try and plant little seeds of different parts of the curriculum or little bits of education, and some of them will just be in the pose kinesthetically. That's what is most beneficial for them, while others, as you say, are like triangles, equilaterals. Let's measure those. We teach everything from concrete to abstract. We teach everything from a very simple, just exploring our bodies, exploring our poses, to then eventually the alignment and what's, the body benefits. And we might even later on start to bring in some of the Sanskrit. I mean, I don't teach in Sanskrit, at all with little children. When we get to teens, we start to explore, some of the yoga language, really just learning the Sanskrit as another language to add to it. Simple, fun with the little ones, and then moving to more of the yoga practice with the older ones.
So you mentioned that you were a Montessori teacher, that's your background. What was it that brought you to children's yoga?
Chaos. It was basically stress in the classroom, stress with the parents, stress with the teachers. Even though it was a Montessori environment, having all the Ofsted reports to do. And I found, I was like out of the class doing reports more than I was in the class working with the children. I just remember one day in my classroom, everything was a bit noisy and chaotic. And I just said, right, everybody sit down, cross your legs, put your hands on your knees. Let's just sit for a moment. Let's just sit and breathe. Close your eyes if you like. And we did. We sat and breathed for a minute. And I had to open my eyes and check that they hadn't all left the classroom because it was so quiet and calm. And when I came out of that, they said, oh, can we do it again? Can we do it for another minute? And in that moment, I really realized we're so overstimulating them the whole time. They were in this chaos and this noise because we kind of created for them, overstimulated. I mean, look at most children on Christmas Day, and they're just like zombies, one present opening, next present opening, instead of one present. Feel it, smell it, taste it, be with it, play with it, explore it. Focus is, your focus and concentration forming through that. So they wanted the silence. And I, the teacher, was filling it with busyness and noise. So kind of started like that, and then just started to explore some of my own yoga poses with them, just playfully, taking my adult yoga and having a little fun with it. And it really grew from there, because I noticed within a very short period of time how beneficial it was becoming. Like every day we would have a little yoga moment, and the energy was different after that, and then other teachers were eventually like, oh, can you come and, share some of those ideas? And then started to, not train, but, give other teachers ideas. And then obviously I went and did my own sort of specialist training after that. And within a short period of time, realized this, the benefits were so astounding. I didn't want to just keep it for one group of 16 children. I wanted to really share it. From then it grew to share it with many children.
Yeah, I really identify what you were saying about the stress of being a teacher when I was a teacher as well. And I bet lots of people listening to this talk can really empathize with that as well, especially with, yeah, the paperwork and being away from the children and all the pressures that you have. It's a lot. So both Bryony and I know that teaching children's yoga is definitely the best job in the world. And I have such fond memories of doing my own teacher training with you. And it really felt like a retreat. So we had so much time and space to think and reflect, and also to have your own creativity start to flow. So I just wanted you to say a few words, Bryony, about what the benefits are for people to do this training and to become children's yoga teachers in regards to their own well-being.
Well, as you say, it definitely does feel like, for me, the best job in the job. Doesn't really feel like a job, but the best discovery. And every day is different. You know, every day is different. When you work with children, you can be running the same lesson 16 classes a week, but everyone is different. And children, as I said earlier, really are your great teachers. They keep you in check. They are amazing for your ego, to check in with your ego. In fact, someone posted the other day, a teacher on one of the Facebook groups, and I just loved it and resonated so much with me, how she was working with little children and teaching, you know, parts of the body, and, you know, and what is this? Arm, and what is this? Neck, and what is this? Wrinkles. I think she was like, yeah, that wasn't quite the response I was going for. Forehead. But that's so what they do. And they're so in the moment. They are so mindful. They are such yogis. And it's as we kind of get older that we lose that. So just to be able to remind ourselves and to remind, and, you know, and to learn from them. It just really helped me in my teaching, staying grounded, really connecting with the children, as opposed to being there teaching them. It sort of encouraged me more to just facilitate and hold space for them and give, you know, use the tools for myself and share the tools with them, not only for in the classroom, but to take home, to share with their parents, to share with their siblings. Doing the training, you know, will just, I think, give teachers tools to bring into the classroom. You know, just having moments of mindfulness, having 1 minute little sits, you know, silent sits, or listening to the chimes, or listening to external sounds, getting the children just to feel their feet on the floor. So, you know, great for teachers already in schools who want to bring some mindful practice into the classroom. And then, of course, great for parents to bring into the home. And yoga teachers who would like to go into schools or studios. As you mentioned at the start of the chat, there is a growing demand, and actually there's a huge demand for yoga at the moment, and children's yoga.
Going on from that, can you tell us a bit more about this new exciting opportunity to train with Yogabeez online?
Yes, well, I kind of resisted because especially the 4-day foundation training, I just felt it was so important to be together in person. I've always really loved that I've met, you know, everyone who's come and done the trainings and got to know a little bit about them, and, you know, even more so through the advanced trainings. But really for me to, practice with the teachers initially. Obviously, during the pandemic, that was not as available because we couldn't meet in spaces. Had many inquiries, kept saying, you know, oh, we'll wait until it's over. Till it's over. When will it be over? So we just had to be, you know, adapt and try and find an online, you know, way of sharing this online. So it really started for me with my advanced training. And we've run a couple of trainings now, which have really been great. It's quite amazing the magic you can still create via Zoom. You know, who'd have thought it? Like a year ago, we hadn't even ever heard of Zoom. And so just more people asking to do it, and also people from internationally reaching out and wanting to do it, who couldn't necessarily travel to London, or parents who couldn't take, 4 days off. So we are doing it, myself and Sophie. We've been working on it and moving it from in person to online, and I'm really excited. And it will be a combination of Zoom, gallery chats, breakout rooms. There will be some little bit of self-study, but I want it very much to be the full hands-on experience. I know me personally, I've signed up to quite a few courses, which are still in my inbox waiting to happen. So I don't really want it to be, here is the thing, do it in your own time, because so often your own time might not come, or you might not have the discipline to do it. So yeah, I want it to be as hands-on experience as possible. So it'll be like a live training, but just via the little boxes.
Yes, and that in that way, it really helps to create that intimate group and that sense of community. I know the advanced training has been really successful online, and I've got a couple of bits of feedback I wanted to share with you from some of the people that did it, which is really beautiful to hear. And that's what's made us even more enthusiastic about doing it this way, because we've seen that it really works. So previously, Lauren said that she was just amazed at how there was such a close sense of community she felt through the online Zoom calls. And they also really helped each other with their first Zoom classes and supported each other through doing that. And then another attendee, Sonia, I've got a direct quote from her. She said that every day was a present in itself. Tapping into the offerings we had within allowed the offerings to spread outwards to each other. And this is because of the beautiful channel of learning that Bryony shared. So really hear that feedback.
Yeah, community is really so important, and has been through all the trainings, hands-on, or especially now with Zoom, because I think something like being a children's yoga teacher, as we both know, can feel so isolating in the beginning. It's not that you belong to the school or you belong to the studio. You're often moving in and out to many different organizations. So you can be, on your own quite a lot. And this is why I really encourage this community within the groups, whether they, via the closed Facebook pages or WhatsApp groups, to keep encouraging each other and connecting in with each other. I'm sure you're still friends with, people from your training, however many years ago you did the Yogabeez training. How many years ago was it?
It's 5 years ago this year.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I know many of the teachers are, and as you say, they really encourage each other to go for it with that first class, or giving ideas of books or lesson plans, or often a call will come in to me for teachers, or to some of the other teachers who might not be able to take on classes, so they can share them amongst their colleagues. So yeah, community is key.
So you've got 2 weekends, and then what goes on between?
Yeah, so usually we run it as a 4-day consecutive training. But in that training, we would have children coming in that the teachers would firstly observe a class, and then they get to teach their own class. Obviously, on the online format, we have to do it slightly differently. So the first weekend actually of the next one running is the 3rd and 4th of July. And then they have a couple of weeks. And in between that time, they will be taking all the theory that we've explored over that time, putting it into practice, and actually teaching a class that will be then mentored both back from Sophie and I. So we'll give everybody feedback. They'll also be buddied up with some of the other teachers on the training. And then we come back for the second part of the training, the 17th and 18th of July. We'll put all the details beneath the chat, or along with the email with the chat, so that you've got them. They can be booked online via the website, or if you email us, info@yogabeez.com, we can send you booking forms. And this will allow you to pay a deposit initially, and then you can always, you know, set up a payment plan. Actually, our early bird fee expires this Friday. But with this chat, we're going to extend it until the 20th of May. If you'd like to join us and learn more about the magic of children's yoga and mindfulness.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's watching and listening to this talk, and we hope that some of you can join us for this training. We're so excited, and thank you so much, Bryony. It's been lovely listening to you. Lots of things we've discussed before, but I always feel like I learned so much from you. So thank you for sharing your knowledge, and hopefully lots of things to take home for everybody.
Thank you. Sophie's like the tech support. So thank you for setting this up and encouraging me, because this is always a bit scary for me, the whole online, you know, interviewing thing. So it's been lovely to chat to you, and hopefully look forward to meeting some of the rest of you out there soon. Why don't we just finish off as we start and finish every class with children? In fact, I can really do that with my chimes, which are just here. So to begin each class and to end each class, we just encourage the children to find a comfortable sitting position. We invite them to close their eyes if that feels comfortable for them, or if not, just to soften their gaze. Imagining a golden thread at the base of the spine, this golden thread moving up through the back, lengthening the spine, and then softening our shoulders, softening our jaw, softening the face. And we'll finish off with 3 breaths. If we were with nursery school children, we might encourage them to pick a beautiful spring flower. And as we breathe in, we smell the flower. And as we breathe out, we might blow a dandelion. As they get older, we might just encourage them to breathe in and breathe out. Inhaling deeply, exhaling completely. Bringing our hands together in front of our heart centers. First of all, we bow to ourselves. Well done for taking some time out to dedicate to learning, to being. We bow to all loved ones, to all creatures, great and small. And then gently blinking open the eyes, thanking and bowing to each other. Namaste. The goodness in me sees and honors the goodness in you. Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you, Bryony. Thank you, everybody listening. Namaste.
Namaste.